But Daramola joins us now. Thank you for coming on again today.
It was a pleasure.
Well. I mean, it was just a matter of time. A lot of people will say, listen, we saw it coming. We had a victory already against Madagascar. So that match may not necessarily matter. Others think, oh, wait a minute, this is a dent in the psychological makeup of the Eagles. All kinds of theorists, all kinds of schools of thought there. But at the end of the day, 3-1, the match ended at the night. And here we are.
Well, for the organizers, I would say kudos. I mean, they ensure that the star players were there, the Messis of this world, the Higuains of this world. So we will not say that we played a second-rated Argentine side again. So for me, that was the beginning.
What about Argentina? They played the second-rated Eagle side.
I don't think so. The only people missing, which obviously were due to injuries. For me, the star players will have just been Taiwo and Osazo Denwenge. It doesn't matter whether it was a Yama that was in goal or it was Ayenuba. At some point, we've always fluctuated. It's a this goalkeeping department sometimes, it could just be a surprise. It doesn't matter. It matters. What matters most is who is in form. And for me, if Ayenuba were to be in form, and the coach had his reasons for benching, for not even taking a Yama, because he said, he was disrupting, he was becoming a distraction in their camp. And so, for me, you won't call that the second-rated Super Eagles. Overall, yeah, Yobo was not there, but you ask yourself, how much will these guys have done if they were to be on the pitch? You were playing against a very motivated, Argentine side, just coming out of a poor run at the Copa America, which they hosted under a new management, and they want to show the coach that, well, we can begin to sing a new song. So for me, I think they were fired up for that game.
Were we?
Maybe we were not, because and then that also raises the question about organization on the part of the Nigeria Football Federation. Apart from the money that we must have collected from the organizers, the timing, was it the best for us? We were just coming from a game in Antananarivo, and you had to travel all the way to Bangladesh, and you had barely a day to train, and then to adjust and all that. So I don't know whether that might be an issue, but for me, timing certainly was wrong. Argentina had all the fresh legs while we were coming out of a very, very crucial game. A game that we must have, come out with 3 points, maximum 3 points. And psychologically, they must have been exhausted because they must have given their all to the game in Antananarivo. So for me, the timing may be wrong. If it was the fact that it was a neutral ground also, it was better for both teams. Something had to happen. And so the last couple of, we say between the World Cup and now, it's 2-1 against Nigeria. Argentina have won twice. Nigeria has been able to win once.
Any hope of winning any other match against an Argentine
It's possible if we begin to, raise our game. We have quality stars. Don't forget, just in 2005, Lionel Messi was voted the best player of the Under-20 competition, while we had two players. John Mikel Obi came second, Taiwo came third. And they have been the brightest of all, from that particular group. You ask yourself, where are the others? They have been the only two that are shining right now. Good move from Marcel to AC Milan for Taiwo. John Mikel Obi has always been, if he's not in Chelsea, definitely will be linked to any other big club. At a point it was Inter Milan, at a point it was Real Madrid. So for me, I think them being the brightest. So we have the chance, we have the opportunity. They thought what matters most is for us to raise, our game. And if we can do that, we should be playing against the best in the world.
Yeah, but how come it's always an issue whenever Nigeria plays? The way we play, the way we approach the game, our attitude on the field, there's always a lot of questions that are being asked almost all the time. Why?
First and foremost, you ask yourselves about the arrangement. You see, some of these things has to do also with what is going on administratively. I've not had the full gist, and that's what I'm waiting for. I've not had the full gist of the role Yama, Mikel Obi, and Ichebe. We're all going to play, in that encounter before we traveled, for the game, in Madagascar.
They will have the benefit of that first goal. If you could comment on that.
Absolutely.
And then we saw
the Messi-Higuain partnership gradually is becoming. It's becoming a phenomenon. That was one of the things Maradona was accused of. That
not forming
at the World Cup, yeah, there's been a fantastic partnership between Messi and Higuain. And people felt that at the World Cup, that would have been the partnership on the pitch, which it did not latch on to.
Couldn't we have picked up that run or read it easily, because we see some of these things on a regular basis?
You see, these guys, for me, the pace at which they play football, if you see even Messi playing or Higuain playing for their club sides, that is Messi for you. That is it's not only Nigeria. He does this regularly.
No, but Mikel usually not easily dispossessed.
Yeah, fine, but
on this day, he was dispossessed with ease.
That's why I said fatigue. Some of these things. That's why I questioned the timing. We're there in the right frame of mind. You're not going to come and play a full, Argentine lineup, and you are not mentally, in the game. For me, they may not. You ask yourself, were they mentally in the game? They just finished a very serious, crucial game against Madagascar. I mean, I just imagine. Let's ask ourselves a minute. What happens if we actually had lost that game against Madagascar? What mental shape would they have, even come into this game at all?
Okay,
maybe they would have been 1-up 7-0.
The save that De La Yoruba made there, to some extent, if not to a large extent, I think it's commendable, because we've seen a Messi score that kind of goal against Ike Casillas, against the top classes, but he went down on the save. So he must have done some study, even though he was, of course, initially jittery about the number 10 Messi. But there, he got down for that save, but of course his defenders couldn't.
No, if you follow Dele Alli's growth, he's been around the national team for a long time. He's quite a confident, player. And for me, at this level, these are players in Europe, you face these kind of players every now and then. And so for me, it's not strange for them to, perform at this level, and then we see some quality on their side. But what I'm worried about.
Sorry, here again, we pulled out the first one. So Mikel made up for all of that, gets that cross almost before he went, and so he was able to put in some fight, and resulted in our first goal.
And Obasi, of course, justifying. People have been questioning why did Siasia pull him into the national team at this particular point in time. And with that kind of goal, he has been able to justify himself to say, "Hey, I'm back in form. I'm back in shape." That's why the coach, is relying on me. That was the last goal was just a mix-up.
Elderson
Echejili. But for me, overall, the question is, what was the mental state of the Eagles going into this game? I felt they must have been exhausted. There was, of course, issue of jet lag. Yeah, they said they traveled in opulence, business in style.
They reveled it. So how could they be?
Well, that might just, these are guys who enjoy these facilities. I mean, nothing is strange. They are Europe based. They are not, Nigerian based. So that is not going to fascinate them. We can make something out of it. We are journalists, but they may not make anything out of it, because the bottom line is they are tired. They just finished a very serious match, a very crucial game.
Yeah, but for that club size, I mean, you see them play week in, week out, day in, day out. That fatigue doesn't pop up.
But the motivation is different, as far as I'm concerned. The motivation is different. This is a friendly game, okay? They play week in, week out, because their titles are at stake.
Yeah, but
there are chances. You see, there are a lot of things at stake. If you play badly, you likely will lose your shirt to somebody who's on the bench, who is waiting. Okay, that's one motivation. And you may never bounce back through the season.
So we don't have that here.
We don't have that right now. I mean, at this, nobody became okay. He lost one opportunity. I can assure you. I mean, doesn't mean that his position is under threat. No, and that was even a friendly encounter.